Shit, man.
What's going on?
He's working on some out the box stuff.
Yeah, I just got done with the day. Gonna do this paperwork real quick.
Hey, that's the best. That sounds like a good time. You're done.
Oh wait, man, what? When this truck park? Oh yeah, truck park. Deliver the load. I'm feeling good.
I know you're on cloud nine right now. You know what I'm saying? Texas,
Boy,
they competing. You know what I'm saying?
boy.
They in competition
I'm
to
so,
win.
I'm saying, man. We was talking. We talked. What's the name? Called me. I was telling. It was real funny. So like yesterday, I'm watching the game. I'm watching the game. And we playing real well. So I'm like, all right, we doing what we got to do. But I'm still like, I'm real skeptical. I just know it's possible. Anything was possible. It's hard to say what was gonna happen. I just knew it was possible what was gonna happen. And I'm talking to my homeboy. He's a Texas fan too. Like one of the only ones I know truly. Since we've been watching college football together since like 2004. Um, and he was like, so we need Florida State to lose. We need Florida State to lose. Um, we need Florida State to lose. And I was like, nah, we don't need them to lose. But if Bama win, we could get in. And he was like, man, they might let Georgia in. They might let Georgia in even if Bama beat them. And I was explaining to him how like that makes sense, but that would really be crazy for them to do. So the fact that it played out like that, and it was important to me that Bama got in there too, because I want to see them again. One, I want to see Alabama play again, and I want to, of course, I want to beat them because yeah, we need that. We need that because there's a lot of Bama fans still talking about that regular season game, and like it don't mean nothing. And everybody think we don't deserve to be there too. So it's just like I ain't want to see no blowouts, and I feel like Florida State just wouldn't have been good competition. It would have been TCU all over again. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel that.
But you hear how Michigan groaned when they heard they got Bama.
hell yeah, I didn't even know you was on here, Tori. What up?
What's good, y'all?
Hell yeah, them niggas scared. Michigan need too, bro. Michigan too, and it's like, and that's what people not understanding. And I was talking to you a little bit about it, Tori, too. Like again, next year going to be so important because everybody merging together. So I feel like Michigan ain't played nobody either, bro. Like I feel like Michigan ain't played nobody. The same thing happened last year. Michigan, they played Big Ten. They ain't play nobody like crazy outside of that conference. They beat Ohio State last year, right? Ohio State played very good against Georgia, but you could have argued that Ohio State didn't have to make it last year. TCU didn't have to make it. You Michigan you had to put in, but they lose because they don't play nobody. So like I wouldn't be surprised again. Alabama beat Michigan like that. They're and all you got to do. See, I'm already starting to think about my content. All they got to do to beat Michigan is make them throw the ball. And Alabama's one of those teams. It's only three. I think I said in my podcast last week. It's only about a few teams that could beat Michigan. Ohio State could have beat them. They talented enough. Georgia, Alabama, Texas. They all got the defense to do it and the offense to outscore them. JJ McCarthy, you got to make him throw the ball. And Alabama could do that. They'll win. And then everybody gonna be like, what can you say? Florida State just too hurt. But
I
yeah, I could
understand
ramble. So
that,
y'all go
but
crazy.
you can't. It's like so they're undefeated, so now they don't get to play just based on like they need to put the criteria to make this thing. It needs to be more common knowledge. They need to know strength of schedule is 10% of why they, you know what I'm saying? Like a formula to why these teams are making it. Because like if I'm undefeated and I'm not going, what are we talking about? I should be in the
But
top
that
four.
and that's what I was telling you when y'all was telling me I was crazy for saying this was gonna happen. Florida State didn't play nobody. Strength of schedule is important. It's important for the Simple fact, TCU made it last year to the national championship and got beat by 50. Why did TCU even win the Big 12? You want to know why? Texas was injured throughout the season. That's why.
Texas.
Quinn Ewers was hurt. Otherwise, we win the Big 12. And you seen how good of a team we were because we played Alabama. TCU up to that point won the Big 12, but outside of beating Texas at the end, they did play us when we was healthy. And going through the Big 12, they didn't play nobody outside of conference to see.
Is Texas gonna win?
So they got.
I want to get your.
We definitely got a shot. We gonna beat. Washington has no defense. Same thing. Oregon and Washington. People have been going crazy about Oregon even after they lost, and I still think Oregon was a better team than Washington. Michael Penix is just cold, bro. Like, I mean, at this point, you got to give their team and even their coach even better credit because that coach, I forget his name at Washington, he's just been like they just ain't been doing nothing but winning since he's been there. But who they play? Washington's best. When the best team you played is in your conference and that team, granted Oregon is a top 17, it's just hard to say how good you are. Us playing Bama and it being a 10-point game shows that, okay, in our conference, we won our conference. We lost to Oklahoma. We did. But outside of the conference, we played somebody, and this is how they look in their conference. Bama's won the SEC championship. It's still an argument who's better between them and Georgia, but they are good enough to beat a team that everybody thought was number one, myself included. So that means Texas is very good. We don't know how good Washington is because their best win is against Oregon.
Alabama win should count that much with it being early in the season. I think it shouldn't count as much. They put more criteria
Texas,
into it.
But Florida State should just get there because they undefeated.
What's the point of being undefeated? You can't control anything outside.
Let me say this real quick.
Go ahead, Tori.
So with that, I was thinking about that too. Then I thought about Liberty's undefeated.
They're also undefeated. They should be up there, in my opinion. Put them in there.
But they didn't play nobody.
They ain't played nobody.
What's the point? But what's the point? The point of a championship is what?
They need to make these conferences. They need to just spread them out more evenly, which they're trying to do. But if we're ranking, so don't even put me in the top 25 if I have no chance to be number one. You see what I'm saying? If me going undefeated, I still can't be in the top list. Then put me in a different, like they shouldn't even be in the same list if they're undefeated and they're not. They have zero chance of being in the top four.
I'm gonna say two things. What's the point of having a championship? Ain't the point of winning a championship to say we're the best team?
It's all about where you stand in the standings, like bracketology.
I'm just saying. Just answer that question. Ain't a championship. The point is to say who's the best team. This year, this was the best team. Isn't that the whole point?
I don't think
well, again, then we could disagree that. I thought that championships mean this team was the best team.
The best team makes it to the championship. And the best
Florida State, there are 5-6 teams better than Florida State right now.
But it don't matter. It's about schedule as well.
If they
are you
exactly
winning?
so it's like this. This was the second part. Why is Texas going to SEC? Why is Oregon going to the Big Ten? Other than money, why?
To balance it out.
Because
they're trying to balance
so that this doesn't happen to Texas. Texas is trying to compete for championships. They know that. And why did Texas put Alabama on the schedule? Because they want to make sure that the strength of schedule is an argument. If Liberty wants to get in, come play SEC football. Play in the Big 12. Florida State, you cold? Florida State, you cold? Come to the SEC. Don't play the ACC when Clemson ain't good, when Louisville's the second best team, and you only score 16 points.
That nobody else is good in their conference?
It's their fault that they didn't schedule nobody else. And now they did schedule LSU.
And Florida.
It's their fault that their quarterback's hurt and that their second quarterback's hurt again. They would be in if Travis Hunter's not in.
My point
Why
is
did
not
he
that
get
they're
hurt?
my point is not that they're the best team, but if this is strategical and this is like ranking based, how are they still not in when they were just in the week before? So
Strength of
why were you
schedule,
ranking
bro.
them last week with you see what I'm saying? Why were they even ranked in the top four last week if that's how we felt about them last week? It's just like
Because of how everything week to week
because
basis. And that's what I
their
was trying to
record,
tell
they're
y'all.
undefeated and you could
They're
not put up.
undefeated.
So that's what I'm saying. Why
But
does that work then, but it doesn't work now?
up until that point, I was trying to explain to y'all before. When you look at strength of schedule and then best wins, Florida State's best win is against LSU. Where is LSU ranked? 14, right? And they beat them by like 3 scores. Alabama played LSU too and beat them by 3 scores. Who's Georgia's best win?
Probably
Missouri,
It's
probably.
probably Missouri.
Missouri.
They're ranked number 9. You get what I'm saying?
They would even
So
try to use Tennessee because they're ranked. So they probably use that on their
and that
their little list, whatever.
and I agree with you on a lot of things. The committee has to get better. And that's what I was telling Tory. They need to do a system where it's more than one committee and then average it out. Because even ranking Tennessee 21 doesn't make sense to me. Because this is what I said. What happened? Florida beat Tennessee, right? Tennessee also lost. They don't have any good wins. Tennessee lost to Florida. Florida got beat by Utah. Utah's not ranked. Utah's better than Tennessee. They should be ranked. That would mean they wouldn't be a top 25 team, and that wouldn't be a notch on Alabama's belt or Georgia's belt. So
Could
like
be
even
political
though
reasons to why these teams would be at the top because nothing that with that just using all the information it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like
for sure.
they're undefeated, bro.
But
Like we gotta respect being undefeated. Like that's
But
called
that's what I
playing the
was trying to
season.
explain to you. That's why I was trying to explain to you even last week. If I'm undefeated, but if we playing 1-on-1 and I played nothing, we grown men and I play nothing
It
but
don't matter
18-year-olds. See, now how that don't matter, bro. If I'm
because it
28
does.
years old, bro, if I'm 28 years old, bro, and I play nothing but 18-year-olds and I'm undefeated and you play
They're
nothing
not.
but teams your age, people your age,
They're
and
playing
you
teams
lost
in their conference that they always play
but
every year.
you got it, man. You got it. If that don't make sense to you, then you got it.
I'm not
Undefeated
saying
means
that they play the
everything.
best
I'm
competition. I'm
saying
just
that,
saying
but
that's
that's
not
the
the
point. Cody, put Alabama with Florida State. What happens? Alabama don't go undefeated. They go undefeated, right? You think
bro.
Florida State played in
It
the
don't
SEC,
matter.
bro? For real,
It
you
don't
can answer the
matter.
question. Now,
I'm
see, it
saying
do matter,
yes.
but you don't want to answer the question. Florida State goes undefeated in the
And what's
SEC.
the point?
Florida State plays Georgia. Look, and that's the thing.
If
In
Texas
a
plays
month, we
Georgia,
gonna
they
find
might
out.
lose.
In a
No,
month,
none of those teams want to play Georgia.
that's the point. You're making the point. In a
I'm
month, we
not
gonna
though,
find out. They play in Georgia. If they lose to
bro.
Georgia, then
Come
what?
on, bro.
If they lose to Georgia, then what?
Then they
They
just
still
lose
should
to
have made it.
Georgia.
But that's what would have happened in the
The
playoffs.
teams with the best
And if
season,
Georgia
listen,
didn't even make it, then how do you beat? If you can't beat Georgia and they didn't make the playoffs, why do you deserve? Why does it? It don't make any sense what y'all saying, bro.
I'm
The
saying this
undefeated
simply.
season doesn't make any sense. If Florida State had Texas's schedule, they lose to Alabama, and it wouldn't be a question. If Florida State had Georgia's schedule, they lose in the SEC championship.
You
And
have to
if you're
reward a
telling
team
me
that knows how to win to be undefeated by the end of the year. Obviously, you're saying which team is the best
the
team.
schedule,
No ranking to know who has the best team because some people have hard schedules, some people have got easy schedules. So these
so if
rankings
you're
are already off
undefeated with an
completely.
easy schedule, if you're undefeated with an easy
Easier,
schedule, right? You have
perceived
to rank,
easier, perceived
bruh.
easier,
It's the facts, bro.
but it's not
You're
though.
playing easier competition,
Then
and
how is Ohio State and
you're not
Michigan?
even dominating.
How are they? So how can they put Michigan in there when their best win is like their best win is against Ohio State?
Because Ohio State is ranked top 7 in the country.
And they're
Florida State's best win is a top 15 team. A
What's
top
the top?
14 team.
What's the top 4 teams in the Big Ten? The power
Ohio
teams.
State, Michigan, Iowa, Penn State.
Iowa
Michigan
and
beat
Penn
all.
State.
Iowa beat all 3 of those. Penn State is like ranked 11. That Penn State win is better than the LSU win.
Penn State is better than LSU.
They're ranked higher. I think they play. I think that's the game they
We're
play.
not talking rank. We're just talking eye test. Like in this right now, we're talking about purely eye test. Is Penn State better than LSU?
LSU would. I'm pretty sure they play. So LSU probably could beat them. Their defense just not good. The thing about it's a good matchup because Penn State's problem is their offense. It'll be a very good offense. It'll be a very good game because
Is LSU
both.
Is LSU top? Are they top 3 in the SEC team? You just said Penn State is the top 3 or 4 team in Big Ten. So
Right.
is LSU a top 4 team in the SEC?
For sure.
Definitely.
They're top 4.
Definitely.
And it's argument because
Bama,
it's
Georgia,
Missouri, and
Missouri,
Ole Miss. Ole Miss
Ole
might
Miss.
be 11. They're around
So
top 5.
Alabama and Georgia
And
are
they
the
got-
first 2 teams. What are
Alabama, Georgia. I'll probably put Alabama, Georgia, LSU, probably Missouri as the top 4.
Ole Miss?
Ole Miss is right up there. So
Ole
when
Miss
you
is
look at
close
the
5.
That's fair.
Close as 5.
I would say SEC just has a strong 4 through 8. I guess 3 through 7 and 8 of teams that are really good. On the same
LSU.
But there's a drop
LSU is
off
ranked.
in all these other conferences. It's a huge drop off after you get past 1 and 2. So
LSU is ranked 13. Ole Miss is ranked 11. Penn State is 10. Missouri is 9.
we're not
So
going by
that's-
ranking. We're going by eye test, watching because the rankings are flawed.
Eye test with Jordan Travis there, Florida State. Florida State did not look like a top 14. That was the eye test.
My point is this though, is that these conferences are outweighed and there's a perceived bias towards certain conferences that if you beat them, it ranks higher than beating another team from a different conference. Like Florida State, who do they have to play? Who's their hardest? You said their hardest win.
LSU, bro.
Okay. Fair. It just doesn't make sense. Why would I want to be undefeated? You have to reward people that made it through the season successfully without slip ups. They didn't have
They
one.
did, bro.
Texas,
They didn't play nobody.
bro.
They
that's
didn't
fine.
play nobody.
When Clemson was killing and they were in the same conference, what were we talking? You see what I'm saying?
That's why I was saying
conferences
before.
go in and out of being
This
good.
season is different because everybody was so good at the top. That's why I was saying this is one of the best college football because I knew this was possible. I knew this conversation was possible.
And this is
that
political.
yesterday was it was pretty much a playoff day. You know what I'm saying? Win and get in, and it ain't playoffs because they won and they didn't get in. And it do suck. I'm not saying it don't suck. I'm just saying that how do you beat it? How do you beat it? Put somebody else on your schedule. Get out of the ACC.
I'm gonna say this too.
Running from your league, it's crazy. But
let me say this though. If Florida State beat Louisville 55-6,
exactly,
it'd be a little bit more eyebrows. Okay, maybe this happened. They beat Louisville by a touchdown.
What was the Texas score? They beat them by 20 plus points. What was that score? Who did they play against? I know they played somebody.
Oklahoma State. Like 45-28, something like that.
Who is those? What team is that, bro?
You talking about Oklahoma State?
One player on Ohio State? I mean, Oklahoma State. I can't even say their team right.
Ollie Gordon. He's the best running back in the. See, this is the problem. I think y'all think I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
That's a good
I've
team.
been paying attention.
Is Oklahoma
Ollie
State
Gordon,
a good team? Yes or no?
Okay, look at this, bro. Oklahoma lost to Oklahoma State. So, and we just beat these niggas. We just beat them by 30, 40 points.
Bro, you got to win your game.
That's how come. But my point is this is Oklahoma State good? Okay, they're good enough to beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma was good enough to beat us. We still won the Big 12 championship. like you said, you got to win your games, but we
Is
played
Auburn
higher competition.
Oh, okay. Auburn I'm putting them higher than LSU because not because of their schedule, because of how they played against other teams. They played well against Georgia. They played well against Alabama, but their schedule is bad. So does that team deserve to be there because they're better? Because by eye test, they're a better team. You see what I'm saying?
Better than who?
Better than they just played probably the best two teams out of, I'll say, four, Alabama and Georgia. Those are the actual eye test. I would say the best two teams out of the four. I'll put Texas. Texas has a chance to be in that as well, but I'm just saying in general, there's a case for that as well. Like I have a bad schedule, but look how good I played. Wins matter.
It's wins matter, but everything else does too. You can't say so because Liberty's undefeated too. They didn't play anybody. That's why I don't get how that argument doesn't hit with you. If you play easier competition, of course you're undefeated.
All I'm saying is they might need to have a different list. Like if that's how it's gonna be, like then why even put me at 24 if I have, you see what I'm saying? Why am I even at 24?
You're at 24 because you played teams that aren't in the top 25 and you beat all of them. So you're in the top 25.
But a
but
team that's right in front of me I don't know where Tennessee's ranked. I'm just gonna use them as for example. They might got four losses, maybe three losses. But that team is in front of them. It's just like you might as well just compile a list of the best teams by like the metrics, by the stats, whatever it might be. Because worrying about records is crazy. Because it's just not consistent throughout all these picks. Like there's no criteria that they are sticking to for each pick. It varies. It varies per situation.
Right, it should, especially if it's only 4 teams. That's why it's so important that it's 12. But it's the same thing. They have to have more than one committee. There should be somebody that just does this, and then you take between them two in a computer and average that out. But Florida, the strength of schedule is important, bro. If one team has top 5, which Texas and Alabama, I think top 10 for sure, strength of schedule, and one team doesn't. And that's why Oregon, everybody was ready to argue Oregon before they even beat Washington. And it's like, bro, they ranked 33 in strength of schedule. Who they beat? Oh, yeah, they dominated their teams, and Texas hasn't. And I was trying to set that, of course, they dominated their lesser competition. If Texas was in the Pac-12, they'd be undefeated. If Florida State had Georgia's schedule, they would have been lost.
It's just kind of contradictory because over time these conferences are going to get better, get worse. Like ACC was like dominant when Clemson was there. Their little run.
That's why you got to put somebody on your team.
Just have a good schedule that is diversified between all these different conferences, and then now when it comes to playoff time, these teams will have losses. Like every team will have a loss or so. But I think they should just do that because this don't make sense. If I'm in the ACC and I'm undefeated and I'm not there, you telling me that I'm mad about losing this money, about not going right now, when there was literally nothing else I could have done.
There is. You could have played Ohio State. You could have played Michigan. You could have played Oregon. You could have played somebody else to show that, oh, okay, this team.
Let me pull up their schedule right now. Let me see.
All they played was LSU. And that's what Michigan and them try to do. I'm not going to play nobody. I'll be undefeated as long as I beat Ohio State and win my shit. I should get in. And then they get in and they lose. You know what I'm saying?
And that's also another reason why Georgia didn't get in, because they ain't played nobody this year.
Right. So Georgia's strength of schedule was, and that's why I was saying it was possible that Georgia could lose to Alabama because we don't know how good they really are. And the margin of error was small. They lost by 3 points. But Alabama was prepared to win the game because they were battle tested. You know what I'm saying? It was a culture shock for TCU to play Georgia. They could not play with them because last year because they just weren't that good. You know what I'm saying? This Louisville game by Georgia, this Louisville by Florida State, this Louisville in that LSU game is the best team they played. Southern Miss, Boston College, that might be ACC unless Boston
Yeah,
College. Is
Boston
there a
College
Big
is
East?
ACC.
Okay.
No, not in the football. Man, no Big East.
Hey,
North Alabama. Play somebody else. You want to get in. And they play in Georgia. So it's like it's a good season because we get to see. I was expecting us not to make it. I'm gonna be honest. I thought you could have made a case for them, but it makes sense to me to put the best 4 teams in there.
so you're leaving Washington out realistically, then? That's what I'm saying.
That's what I would like. I'm gonna be honest. I would.
So Washington is more important. That's what I'm saying. Like, in no year will we say Washington was more important than Florida State.
Washington's undefeated, though. What are you saying? That's what you just said. Undefeated is important.
I'm talking about 2 undefeated teams here. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Now, that's why the criteria is not just undefeated. You got one team that's undefeated. You got another team that's undefeated. One team has beat a top 7 team twice.
What is that?
The other,
I just want to hit a case for Washington, like, realistically.
I'm telling you, Washington beat Oregon twice.
The team that we acknowledge was LSU, Ole Miss level in SEC.
Sure, but in the rankings, Oregon was a better team than the team that Florida State beat.
And Oregon has the same competition that Washington got, except for they had to play. Who did they play?
They played Texas. They played Texas Tech. They played Texas Tech, almost lost to Texas Tech. Texas beat the fuck out of Texas Tech. Everybody said it doesn't matter. Everybody said, this Oregon team's better than that one. Yeah. And then they're gonna beat Washington. And then they lost. And I thought they was gonna beat Washington again too. Like,
I just had to keep going back to Auburn, like
Auburn, who did they beat?
But that's what I'm saying. They played everybody close. If we're gonna talk about people playing close, like
You gotta beat them.
2 best teams, like for sure the 2 best teams they play close with.
You got to beat them. And then everything is in context. Like Auburn, Alabama, that's a rivalry game.
That's
you know what I'm saying? I was arguing with people. Talking about, oh man, because people say Alabama. People say, oh, Alabama shouldn't make it because they struggle with Auburn, and it's like it's a rivalry game. And some people on Alabama don't think Texas deserve to get in because they lost to Oklahoma. But it's like, oh, so you understand the energy around a rivalry game when you play in Auburn, but you can't against when it's Texas versus Oklahoma. Texas versus Oklahoma is played on a neutral site. It's not in Oklahoma and it's not in Austin. So it's like, so a lot of things go into the Red River rivalry. So them beating us is like Auburn beating Alabama when one is clearly better, but it's like you play a rivalry game different.
They'll be completely out of it. If Auburn beat Alabama to compare them to, they would, like, even if they didn't lose to Texas, if they lost to Auburn, like when they did, they would no chance of them going, even if they beat Texas. But that a loss to Auburn would be that bad for their chances.
I don't know. It just depends on the situation, I think. If they beat us, they'd have that win in their back pocket, just like we had it.
It hurt them. Well, I guess it helped you. I don't know who helped more or hurt more, but it's an early game, Mike. It's early in the season.
Bro, that don't matter, bro. If Alabama beat Texas, we wouldn't even be in a conversation. early in the season, middle of the season, end of the season. It does not
This
matter.
season is different, bro. You know it's different. Come on.
Sure, it's
That's why
still
they're
on
giving
your record,
Alabama a
bro.
shot because they're
So
playing better at the end of the
okay.
season.
Be consistent with that. Be consistent with that. Be consistent with that.
I am.
When did Florida State play LSU?
I just had the schedule up. I'm gonna give you the exact date.
I already know. I watched it in September. It was night one, early in the season. So Florida State's best win was against a team in the SEC on night one. In the first 2.5 quarters was very close, and they pulled away. But that was early in the season. But this is the team we're fighting
He's a
for.
Heisman winner, Heisman
Yeah.
candidate.
See, you see how the goalpost just Tori, you here, right? You here, right?
Exactly. You said
That
I mean, I
goalpost.
guess he's trying to make his case. Go ahead, Cody. Go ahead.
You said have a schedule. This is Florida Gators. Any year the Florida can be good. You're telling me if you go through their schedule, you're basing it on just how they performed this year. But like, what's wrong with their schedule, realistically? Just
Now
on
you're talking about
average.
something totally different. We was just talking about early season games and how they don't mean as much.
Exactly. You're comparing.
And I just gave you
a win to a loss. You see what I'm saying? This is a win for what team?
I'm comparing Texas beating Alabama early in the season.
Yeah.
Against Florida State being LSU early in the season. I think they both mean something equally. I don't care if it's the beginning, middle, or the end.
Well, I just disagree completely.
It's not your argument's not consistent. It's only consistent with who you want to look good. You want Texas to look bad.
Florida State
So
beating
Texas
Florida look good. I just said
Florida State beating LSU.
And they won that game. You see what I'm saying? I never said
when we were talking. Tori, you
I never
hear him?
used that.
When we were
Florida State beating them meant something because it was early.
We were talking about Texas and Alabama, and that's why I brought that up. You said that game doesn't matter because it happened early in the season. That's when I brought up Florida State beating LSU early in the season. And now that game matters.
Florida State. That doesn't mean anything.
I know it don't.
Florida State.
I know it hurt your case because if Texas beating Alabama in week 3 doesn't matter, Florida State beating LSU, the best team they played, week 1 should matter even less.
You're comparing a loss to a win. So it's their fault.
I just said Texas winning against Alabama. You got it, Cody. I ain't gonna say it again. I know what I'm saying makes sense. You're not making sense, bro.
I'm making sense, bro. I'm talking about
so Tori, do you hear him?
All I'm saying is this. If Alabama beat Texas and they lost to Georgia, are they getting in?
If beat
Alabama
Texas
and lost to Georgia, no.
If they
in the SEC championship?
And they lost to Georgia in the SEC championship. Both teams undefeated going into the SEC championship.
Georgia goes if they undefeated and they win the SEC champ. And it depends on who else. It depends in this season. If that was the situation.
In this season, yes.
What was the question again?
If Georgia was undefeated, which they were, Alabama beat Texas, that means we wouldn't be in the question because we got 2 losses, even if we won the Big 12. So we wouldn't be in the question, which means there could be who's like at 5. Ohio State, one of those other teams probably get in.
All Alabama I'm saying is
could get in.
My point is that they showed the committee growth throughout the season. They started off with the loss to Texas, which looked bad for them going forward. But they showed the committee through a long season that by the end of the season, they showed that they were becoming a better team or the best team on that final game, enough to where they jumped over Georgia, which had a better case to me still to be above Alabama. In my opinion, they still have a better case.
You said Florida State?
No, I'm saying Georgia. Georgia has a better case than Alabama.
Okay, I can see that. But with that same argument, so Florida State goes undefeated, and they're undefeated is actually, as the season's going on, their undefeated is looking more shaky. getting shaky year like later on. That's the same thing with Georgia.
Exactly.
They were undefeated until the SEC championship, and then, like the whole time they're undefeated, a lot of games were shaky. So Florida State, like, okay, so the only way Florida State can get in the top four, even if Jordan Travis is there, if they beat a top 10 school. If they would have beat a top 10 school and go undefeated, there would be no question.
Let me pull it. I just had their schedule up there. They beat a team that was ranked. Give me 1 second. You said Florida State. I know nothing about Florida State. I just know why are we putting them in the top four and we're waiting.
If you don't
They
know
should
nothing
have
about
never
them, then
been
how
in
can
the
you?
top four. If this is how we felt, why are we waiting now to take away that top four standard based on other
Yeah.
teams losing?
You're also not taking in consideration that their top quarterback was hurt. That's they would have been in, Cody, if Jordan Travis wasn't hurt. They should have got in if Jordan Travis wasn't hurt. I still think they wouldn't. They do better. I don't think they'd win it, but they would deserve to get in over Bama or even Texas. Jordan Travis got hurt, and then their backup got hurt. He didn't even play. They were playing with their third QB3.
When is the first game of the season for football? This shit.
9-3, the September 3rd. They played LSU 45-24. They beat Southern Miss 66-13. Boston College, they beat them 31-29. Clemson, these are unranked teams. They beat them 31-24. Virginia Tech, good game, Florida 39-17. Syracuse, they beat them by 38 points. The score was 41-3. They beat Duke, ranked 16 by 18 points, 38-20. Wake Forest by a lot of points, 41-16. Pitt by 3 touchdowns, 24-7. Miami, unranked, beat them by 7 points, 20-27. They barely beat Miami. They barely beat Clemson, and they barely beat Boston College.
We're talking about barely's now? Oh, okay. Listen, this is who they play. So what if
this is where the inconsistency.
No, listen. What if tomorrow SEC completely drops off? If the competition level gets garbage. Is it anybody's fault who I think they make the schedule every 2 years. Is it every 2 or every 4? But like I'm just saying in general, this is their ACC rivals. They play Clemson, Boston College, Virginia Tech. These are basically the rivals in their own conference, and now they're penalized for blowing them out. Like they blowed out Syracuse. Syracuse isn't great this year, but I'm just saying in general,
at all.
This is like telling Alabama they don't need to play LSU or something. Like this is interconference teams that they have to play.
But how do you? This is my issue. When Texas is barely beating their teams, you say that you're barely beating them, and Oregon is blowing out their teams, so Oregon is better, and you don't take in consideration the competition then. But now that it's Florida State better? In the same situation,
Oregon was better.
You did on this podcast, said that Oregon would get in over Texas because they were dominating their competition. And we went back and forth for 15 minutes about how, bro, it's on YouTube.
We're going to rewatch it because I didn't say they were dominating their competition. I'm not even talking like that. I don't know if I even be talking like that.
Bro, I'm telling you. You were saying, nah, Texas, they barely getting by. And I was like, bro, they playing better competition. Don't matter. It don't matter. Oregon beating their teams by a lot. Now Florida State barely beating Boston College.
We're gonna look this up. We're gonna film because I don't remember saying that, but we got less than a minute. And just to wrap up, I'm excited to see the game, but it's a flawed system going on, and it's
for sure. I agree with that.
It's for sure politics to why, you know what I'm saying? Florida State's not on there because hey, I'm gonna be mad. I don't know. I'm not a fan at all, but
who do you think would say Florida State is ranked 3? They play Washington. You think they beat Washington with their backup quarterback?
But yeah, I did see that clip of him speaking on NBA YoungBoy. But like, I do agree that there may have been buttons pushed for like those numbers to look that way, like all his numbers to be, and his numbers have definitely slowed down for whatever reason. It's like people get a different contract or there's an issue with the contract, and now like the sales aren't the same. Like the numbers have came down drastically. Like he was doing 200s, you know what I'm saying, 100s. You know what I'm saying? Now you got under 50. Like, not to say
That's
that matters,
interesting.
but
That is interesting. I never thought about it like that. You can hear me?
yeah,
All right, cool. I didn't even think about that. So I didn't even know I haven't seen the clips. So his numbers have gone down,
yes.
his sales,
But
because he just dropped that album
like
and
first week sales and stuff.
he got out of his deal. That's what you're saying?
I'm saying usually that's when you see the numbers change like that drastically is when like
Mhm.
the investment has changed.
That makes sense. And you know, everybody been throwing out this industry, the music industry been using streaming farms to juice people shit up. Have you seen or Tori, have y'all heard of Jack Harlow's new song?
The one that's like
Heard
on
of it.
kind of going viral or something like that.
Is
Mhm.
it going viral?
The
Yeah,
one that's like talking about I choke you, ain't no killer.
I don't know. I never heard it. That's why I was wondering because I seen it went number one, but I didn't know. I didn't know nothing about the song until I seen an article saying that it's going number one. I was like, what the fuck? What song? I didn't know he dropped music.
they marketed that to 14-year-old white kids from New Orleans. Like, you hear
Makes
that too?
sense. It
You
makes
not gonna
sense.
hear
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But it's just, yeah, that's the first time that's ever happened to me where a song went number one. And the first time I hear about the song is it going number one. I just found it suspicious. But then that was a thought. That was a thought for me that maybe I just, he wasn't trying to hit me. That do make sense though. If you get off, I don't know if he's off his contract. I know he was on a crazy deal, young boy. I know his deal was like, I know he signed like a 360, like a 5 album deal or some shit in 3 years or some crazy shit. And he put out a lot of music. So
I think it happened with the baby, I guess, once he got canceled or whatever. Like before he got canceled, you know what I'm saying? He's doing big boy numbers, like 200, 100. Like, same thing I'm saying. Like you go from 200 to now 30, like something's something's not right. To 30,
yeah, that's a big drop off. The City Girls is real interesting also. Because
oh yeah.
they sold like 10,000 and they're on QC. That's real weird.
But you know, QC got bought out though, so
Exactly.
Right?
that's why Lil Baby ain't
So
doing. Lil Baby ain't doing nothing. Yachty trying to do his podcast thing. Most of QC is dead.
so that makes sense. Like based off what Cody, that plays into what Cody's saying. If they got bought out and they don't care about the
They
City
don't
Girls, like
care.
that puts that a lot more into that makes a lot of sense because it just doesn't like the Carisha podcast is up. So you would think and she done sold that card game. That
She
card game is platinum.
she hasn't marketed. Does she market like her music on there?
No, that's what don't make any sense. She don't talk about her music at all.
I mean, you don't have to
Like
talk about
like like
music, but just when you have a project dropping, transfer some of that audience to the music. You know what I'm
and
saying?
that's also part of the issue. The way she feels about the podcast, it's not how everybody else does. And that was a conversation even then. Because uh it's one of the most popular Black podcasts out there, but she only drops like 3-4 episodes a year. So like she won an award at I think it was a BET Awards or BET Hip Hop Awards, best podcast of the year. And Charlamagne the God was like, he was like, I feel like she don't deserve it. It's people out here dropping weekly, doing a lot of interviews, not doing interviews. And she dropped 4 or 5 episodes and she's a podcast of the year. And she came on the show and she felt some type of way about it. but I can understand what he's saying. But even then, like, if you got a podcast and you know your album dropping, I would have did the episode that week. Even if it's just me and she already done had JT on there, but they should have did an episode.
I would have played a
You know what
song
I mean?
on the episode. Like, there's got to be a way you can get paid or get they
He,
can
that
track.
chose.
There's got to be a way they can track. You know what I'm saying? When the song is being played, even if it's on a podcast, like there's no way. That's the biggest connection you got to make when you have that big of an audience. You just want an award for a podcast. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That the
You would
button
think
wasn't
that,
pushed on
right?
that in that
Exactly.
project. Is what I'm saying.
And that's what they were saying too. They were saying like it seemed like the label didn't care. And I found that. And they also said they don't got a manager.
Because they're not rappers anymore. They're socialites. They're social media stars. They're not. They use rap to really bigger their name, to get their name out there. They don't give a fuck about rap no more.
They never had a manager. City Girls never had a manager.
So I guess QC was doing all their managing and shit. Coach P and all that type of shit.
It was usually your manager is doing stuff to make sure the label is doing what they're supposed to do. They had no management, which means they were winging it. It's almost like playing a sport. You ain't got no coach. You know what I'm saying? You just like the label could do whatever they want to do, and you ain't got nobody with experience to be in between them. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know the game, you don't know nothing. So like that was very telling too. And that's like, it's like the same story over and over again.
Now they got less control.
Artists having talent or having the enough, like it's so hard to make it just to get to the point that they got to. And it's almost, I don't see where the disconnect is, but and I don't want to call it luck. It is talent. Like they're charismatic people. A lot of these artists are charismatic naturally. That's why I'm trying not to say luck, because I'm trying not to downplay people.
No,
but
it's not even downplaying luck.
It's fucking luck.
It's luck.
I'm trying to be nice.
Right place, right time.
And then you get there and you don't know how to stay there. Like it's oh shit. My shit going viral and people want to sign me. They had to have people asking to manage them, and they said no. Why would you say no? You probably saying no because you don't want somebody else in your pockets. Now your pocket's smaller because you didn't think the management was necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so crazy, like how people can, like when I be YouTubing or Google searching like tips on how to make it in the industry, what I'm really trying to figure out is how to break. And what you find is tips on how to stay in there, right? It's like, content. in order to make, and that's obvious, but they be like, in order to make it in the industry, have multiple streams of income. It's like, oh, well, cool. I don't even got one. But thanks. You get what I'm saying? The most important things for people at the bottom is how to get enough attention for me to even establish 3 incomes. You get what I'm saying?
Pay that. And you have to pay for
and
that.
then people who, and I think it's just more simple than it really is. It's just put your shit out and work at it. But people get the hard part, and then they get there and they don't even know what they're doing once they get there. That's so crazy to me that you could not have a man. Like, how do you not have a manager? You know what I'm saying? How do you not figure out? How do you not figure out?
It's like an education, bro, and ignorance, bro. But it's a mix of everything. Like, for sure, ignorance. Like, you're worrying about 10%, but you'll have more 90% if you get a good manager to take 10%. You know what I'm saying?
It's arrogance and entitlement too. You know what I'm saying? With Charlamagne the God, she could have took it as motivation, but she took it as I deserve to get what I deserve. You know what I'm saying? It's back to that Florida State shit. I'm undefeated. It don't matter what y'all think. I should
Totally
get there.
different, bro. Totally different.
But I'm
We would
saying,
not
I'm
be
saying
talking about
she
this
could have.
if Clemson was a good team. If Florida
Exactly.
was
That's the
good
whole
this
point.
year.
But it also, we wouldn't be talking about it if we ain't got to talk about it. If Jordan Travis wasn't hurt, they would be in.
That's
Jordan Travis
big.
still hurt.
That's big.
That's really the main reason why they're not.
I'm glad y'all brought that up. Tying it back to the City Girls. When
Yeah.
City Girls first started popping, gotta think about QC as a label. Then used to have Migos at the top of the game.
Yeah.
And Lil Baby on the come up, Yachty on the come up. So QC was really at that point in time they first started popping, one of the top 5 rap labels out there. And
Yeah.
at one point in time, at their peak, like I'll say probably 2018, at they peak 2018, 2019, they're probably number one rap label. So going back to like with the City Girls, is like, okay, we start popping up all together. If I'm doing this shit on my own, why do I need a manager? I can see that. But also,
But they weren't
they're
doing it
not
by
thinking about the
themselves.
longevity. Of course, they weren't doing it by themselves. Hell no. They weren't thinking about the longevity of it though, which could be. I could think that they're not even trying to give a fuck about longevity. It seems like they're just trying to get their name out there, and then once my name's out here, okay, I can really leave the rap shit alone. I just want to just keep my name out. Like we know fucking Young Miami more now as Carisha more than fucking Young Miami. So I feel like they're not really treating the ship as rap no more. Like you're talking about, there wasn't advertising on their promo, wasn't promo any of the shit in the podcast. Or whenever you see JT out of some shit, she ain't pushing out the album. Like there was no album promos at all. So they're done rapping.
I don't know if they done. I don't think they done. But also JT went away. I forget how long she was gone, but she was in prison, right? So I'm sure that was a confusing time for Carisha. And when you get in the bag and you just feel, man, they should have just had a manager. I don't know. The way they talk, I don't know if y'all seen the Breakfast Club interview though. The album that they just put out, they been had finished and they wanted to put out years ago. But I think COVID happened. COVID fucked a lot of people shit up. And then
to interrupt you, I don't think it was them not having the manager to why this album flopped. I think it was because, like you just said, QC got sold. P sold it. Imagine buying, say you buying an NFL team and you got the Migos, Lil Baby, and Lil Yachty. Oh yeah, and I got the City Girls too. But I got this. This is what I plan to invest. They're not going to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
but
get
really,
that, yeah.
they should be, because this is the girls are winning right now. Like all the female artists is going crazy. They probably should have been more of a focus.
And before they started it, that's the big thing. Like when they not started it, but when you think about this female run, when you like nobody was rapping like them. Meg Thee Stallion kind of came out around the same time, and she kind of fed off of that same type of energy that they gave off. And now everybody, for the most part, that's how every girl talks. That's mainstream. That's how they talk.
Sexy Red,
you know what I'm saying?
Fall off.
Man, that song, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
It's the start.
She could. They could slow down, yo.
But why would you?
Like you pregnant, bro. Relax. I get going if you got the fire, but if you ain't got fire, hold that bitch. Your shit's still going. You know what I'm saying? Like getting there be the hard part, and they always say staying there is hard too, but I don't see like.
That's how Drake is still here. He stayed there. He figures out a way to still stay there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Kanye does too, but he takes breaks. Like he'll be gone for some months here and there. You won't hear about him or Drake, but Drake is in the spotlight. He's doing features. He's doing some weird shit on social media.
Yeah.
You got to stay in their people face. I believe.
I do think the skill level is like what y'all said. I'm trying to be nice, but we already done had this conversation. Like I be forgetting about the baby running the game for like 6 months to a year. Pretty much, he
Roddy
had a whole
Rich.
year, and then yeah, Roddy Rich. It's like they get. It's almost like all the entertainment is like that. Like even like the players in the I say NBA because they really get in the bag. A lot of them get that bag, and then it's like, all right, I don't even care about no ring. I'm rich as hell. You know what I mean? It's like you break, and then it's like I already done made it here. I don't care about having a long career almost. Like they don't care about the music at least. You know what I mean? They think that they could get away with it not being on a certain level, so it falls off. But yeah, Young Boy comes out with a lot of music. He got a real good, like a lot of people that like Young Boy, they like Rod Wave. Like they, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like he's fine. Like even with his numbers being 30,000, like I'm sure he's fine. He gonna tour. He make a lot of YouTube money. He was one of those artists. Like he dropped music videos, and because he dropped so much music, he get a lot of YouTube money. So he tour. He gonna make his money touring.
I wonder what percentage of Amazon workers listen to NBA YoungBoy on a break or on the way
Boy,
to
At least 35 to 40.
40%.
You gotta think about it, like NBA. He knows how to cater to his demo. Like I don't think his album, his official album shit, like y'all was talking about earlier. Like even if the numbers is not as good, I don't think they really like fucks with his fan base.
How
Because
many
I
people
can
at the
I
bus
can
stop? Go ahead.
like exactly like I could probably name maybe 5 NBA YoungBoy songs I know, maybe.
I can't even name.
But
I couldn't name 5.
you
but
got some good
you talk
music.
when you talk to somebody else, I say, well, shit,
They love him.
they love him. It's like
They like
Die Hard.
emotion. It's like an emotional attachment to him, and it makes sense. It's like Rod Wave. Like they
Rod
talk.
Wave.
Like it's like pain music.
They have a very
And
similar.
it's the same demo. The
Yeah.
difference is young boy is more he got
Harsher. He's a more harsher
yeah
tone.
yeah he'll do like some drill shit almost in his way. Like it'll be Rod Wave not thugged out, young boy thugged out, but then he'll drop a song that hit you in the chest, and that's the shit that his fans stick to. So he drop a lot of music, but he makes sure he got those on there, and they fine. He'll drop. He the type to drop. He might have dropped like 8 projects last year. I know he dropped a lot of music, so he be all right.
That's I like his formula. Like, even if he had a deal, just think about longevity. If you dropped 100 projects, how much the residual
Currency.
income from that in 10, 15 years is crazy. You got 100, you got 500 songs. He dropping 20 song projects. You know what I'm saying? He
That
got
is that's
in
pretty
10
much the
years.
game. Mm-hmm.
Streaming wise, it's just a waterfall. He getting 1 million probably a day. But you don't got to do 30K the first week on this new project when he got 10 bangers that people love. Well, I mean, he probably got 10 bangers that his fans love type shit.
Right. And imagine one artist, he dropped one album and he do 300,000 first week, right?
Don't drop for 5 years.
Maybe he drop every year. Let's just say he drop every year. Young boy drop 10 albums a year. He do 30,000 first week each album. It's the same numbers, but
Same
he's making
numbers.
more. It's the same numbers first week. Accumulative, all numbers first week it ends up being 300,000, but then he got 10 songs on each project.
That's probably the
So
easiest way to go.
because of his output, that's really the smartest thing for small artists too, because it's like, it really is, it's hard to do something like this. But I don't know if y'all fuck with Gary Vee, but he says He says he's real good with social media, of course. He says if he was an artist, he would drop a song every day. And he say, hold on, my girl calling me.
I agree. Like, the more money with that formula of dropping multiple projects, that means that's less money that you can market towards each project. But when you, I guess if you're a young boy and you got a loyal fan base, you just want to cater to that. You ain't got to really go spend your whole money marketing. You see what I'm saying? You don't got to
Yeah.
lose all your money marketing. You just say, young boy, go in the lab, drop a project. That's the artist I want, because he don't got to do all these interviews. He might have to do, I think he's doing $1 million worth of game interview that's coming up or something. But yeah, they spend a lot of money marketing these projects. So that's the type of artist that labels really want. He gonna give you 10 projects a year.
How you feel about an independent artist dropping a song a day?
I feel like it works if you have something. I mean, you got to start somewhere. You might not even get traction until you're 20 songs in, if nobody knows. But that can just be that thing. Oh, this dude drop a track every single day. Like, what is he dropping this today? This has got. It's got to be. You got to market. You have to market the product, just the artist itself. Because like you can't market each song. Like you can, but
Not necessarily. But what you could do is say you drop, and then after like 3 weeks, after a month, you'd be like, all right, you look at the analytics. But imagine you drop a song you drop every 30 days, you look at the last 30 days, look at your analytics. All right, this song, this song, this song. You promote that next month while you drop, and you just keep rinsing and repeating. I found it interesting. I ain't seen nobody do it yet. You know how Russ had
drop a 30 song project every month, or like however many days is in that month. But like, that would be interesting to try that. Like, that's basically the same thing, a song every day. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Give them a project December 5th, but that's all the songs for each day of the month type shit.
What you think, Tori?
The song a day.
Yeah. That shit a lot of output.
It's a lot of output. But what does it get you? It's like you're FSU, you go 12-0. You haven't played nobody. I see that. If you're doing something, like you can push out output. I understand. If you see a growth with it, then keep doing it, because you're obviously doing something right.
When Clemson, you ain't gonna diss my Florida State point like that, man. So when Clemson was running,
bringing that shit up.
When Clemson was running through that conference, wasn't nobody saying, "Oh, they're not playing nobody."
It was just Clemson only. But let me wrap that. I'm gonna bring that back around to the question.
Nobody saying they're not playing nobody.
Okay, let's say for example, I'm with that same comparison. I'm doing a song a day, and I'm a lesser artist, but CeeLo's doing a song a week. He may do one song a week. I'm doing my song instead of song a day. I got 7 songs, so it's 1 song a week average. He may drop 1 banger, and I drop 7 You on Miles tracks. Which is gonna have more traction?
The one banger.
Exactly.
Unless you have a cult following, like imagine that one banger that you drop every week got 700 plays in that week or whatever, but each one of them songs individually got 100 plays. It still equals 700 plays.
That's my point. I get that. That's what I'm saying. So if you're dropping a song a day and you're seeing exponential growth with it, even if it's a slow incline, keep doing it. But if you're dropping a song a day and doing shit like these hoes be selling free OnlyFans, like you showing yourself for free and you still not getting no damn traction, something's not right. Do another goddamn profession. If you're doing a track a day and nothing's happening, especially if you're not even if you're getting plays, you're not getting no type of collabs, no type of engagement.
They gotta
try something else different.
OnlyFans into the X videos. into the
Man, what?
X76. They got a cross platform market. They're OnlyFans.
Yeah, you definitely got to go from the Twitter, the close friends, put your shit on Pornhub, and then even if you on OnlyFans and your shit $3 a month, you got to hit somebody that paywall got to hit some type of way.
It has to. Something has to stick. That's my point. Something has to stick. So if you're dropping a song a day, and if you dropping each song is a fucking masterpiece, what are you going to get?
What if this is the argument for the I agree that the amount of work it takes to create a song, unless you could just go crazy,
Exactly.
it's not really worth it. But the thing that would make it worth it is, say you drop, like you said, say I drop 50 songs a year and say out of the 50, I got a hit. And because it go viral, everybody that listened to that one song listen to the rest of it. I had 50 up at bats. If you dropping a song every week, you could still make a hit, but then you got 300. It's like watching a show that been on and you never checked it out, and then you finally check it out, and then you binge all episodes.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. The Boys. I've been on that
That's the
shit.
only, for real. I heard about
Boys.
it. I watched the first episode, but I couldn't. I can't
what
get
show?
into The Boys on Amazon.
I haven't seen that one, but I want to recommend one as well. It is called what? Shit, this just slipped my mind. Talk about that show a little bit more.
It's a superhero show. I can't get into superhero shows, but I watched it because it's interesting. I remember the first episode, but I still haven't gotten back into it. I'm gonna have to.
It's a very interesting show. It's like it's like superheroes, but a corporation is like it's the later, the more you get into the show, the deeper the shit gets. Like it's kind of like think of the Avengers if there was like behind the scenes. You think like behind the scenes Avengers shit, but they're everything's very over the top and X-rated and uncut and adult shit. But
gotcha.
That's where it basically comes from. And
yeah, I heard it's good.
It's good as
they got spinoffs and shit, right?
Hell yeah. Go ahead.
Once I see spinoffs, that's when I'm like, okay, the show got to be fire, because everybody don't do spinoffs. So,
but the show that I was talking about, it's on Amazon. Y'all got to binge it. It's called From like
Foam.
From like I am from here. From.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that show. From. Yeah.
It's fire.
It kind of reminds me of Lost. Remember that show Lost? That used to be on ABC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like that, but yeah, it's one that you're gonna binge. If you watch, you're gonna be binging it. But yeah, we got to talk more film and TV shows and shit.
I'm with it. You watch any new movies?
The last movie that I saw in theaters was called Thanksgiving.
I want to see that motherfucker.
Yeah, I didn't watch that. I heard it was bad.
It was, for the genre of scary movie, it wasn't a great movie. It wasn't a 5-star movie, but like for what it was, it was like Final Destination type scary movie. Like,
yeah.
So like with that criteria, it was straight. I wouldn't probably watch it again or nothing, but
I saw like a trivia question. It's like it was saying that horror movies are the most profitable movie genre ever because they make shit that's so low budget, but they bring in way more shit over the top with the good shit coming in at the box office. Like, think about the budget that went to the Blair Witch Project. Shit was completely ass budget, maybe $100K, if that. Probably over tens of millions of dollars.
Bro,
so like,
how many more times can we make Jason? Can we make a Halloween movie about the same thing? Bro, they're gonna make it for 1,000 years because we're gonna keep buying it.
Yo, it makes sense, and it makes sense. Like, scary. Like, if we wanted to make a movie, bro, and we should really do it, because fuck it, why not? That would be the best genre, because the script ain't got to be nothing. The acting don't got to be nothing. People love violence, and the hard part about the hard part about like I just started watching Raising Kanan, right? I know you probably still did too. If we try to make a Tory, I don't know if you watch
I ain't seen
the
I ain't seen a new
Power
episode
Universe.
yet.
Fire, bro.
I haven't
Fire.
seen
And I
nothing in
just
Power
finished.
Universe either.
Oh boy, that shit good. But if we were to try to do that, you got to do that in a believable way. Like you have to. Or and people do it on Tubi all the time. Or like a superhero movie, like the special effects got to be a certain type of way. Like a scary movie though, we could shoot that shit on the phone, have a nigga with a knife. And you could do a scary movie, 5-minute scary movie, no motherfucking words. You just goddamn somebody be at a library reading a book. You see a weird ass nigga, he carrying a knife, looking over the corner. She's still not paying attention. Then she look up, he there, they chase each other. He chase her. The movie end with somebody coming out of nowhere saving her. Like that could be the movie, and it's a lot more interesting than you trying to make a love story film or something like that. So I could understand like how scary movies is like entry level, can be an entry level. I never even thought about it until you said that. Yeah, we should do that shit. We should make a scary movie that ass.
Man, I'm a horror movie aficionado, man. Like I love the horror movie because the only thing about the horror movies that really matters is the payoff. What happens? The whole movie is basically like I guess any type of storyline you have the climbing suspense, but basically horror movies is okay. You got about with me, you probably got at least about 20, you got 15, 20 minutes of setup before you start getting to okay, shit start happening. Like you said with other stories. Like there you Lou a type of nigga watching 3 or 4 5 hour movie. Cause the whole movie is slow up.
But the
Horror
Titanic
movie,
is a great movie. That shit felt like three
Titan,
hours.
Killers of the Flower Moon was good. That new
I'm not
Batman was
watching them
good.
long ass fucking movies, man. Give me a movie that's straight here. Like y'all watching movies like on the goddamn 15-degree angle. I like my movies on a nice 88, very slow, and bam, get me
You like
right there.
them hour and a half movies.
You got me about an hour and a half. You
What's
got
your
my
thoughts?
attention an hour and a half.
What's your thoughts on Sinister? You said you like scary movies. What do you rank that amongst like the 2010s to now? Like
I seen Sinister one time on the
I
2010s.
never seen Sinister.
you haven't seen
I would
Sinister?
give that.
Nope.
It's a straight little movie, but I can't really remember it. That's I only watched one time. So I'll say because 22 was a great year. It was a great decade of horror. It's like it was like it was a nice rejuvenation of horror. Even though everything kind of started off with founded film like Paranormal Activity. Like
Paranormal Activity.
So I would give it I'll probably give it a 20 out of the 2010s. Maybe a top 20, top 25.
You got Insidious.
City is probably one of the most overrated movies I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, I know.
What about
That's how I feel.
what about I don't fuck with it that much. What about The Conjuring, the first one?
That's good too. I'll put
Did y'all see
top 10. Conjuring top 10 of that decade.
I like Conjuring.
that shit scared me. I remember everybody I was with when we watched that movie. I know I was scared.
Smile is like a good recent scary movie that came out.
Smile is a great
Smile
is a great movie.
We brought up scary movies. My bad. Go
ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I've been smiling, laughing because I know when I bring up this movie, I know how your reaction gonna be. So I'm gonna ask Cody, and then this gonna be a real entertaining segment. Cody, how you feel about the movie Nope?
That shit was weak.
Yeah.
It was good videography. Like visually, it looked good, but it missed on what's the first one with the nigga? Get Out. Yeah, it missed on what Get Out was. It just didn't link up. The story didn't link up good enough to me.
Bro, let me tell you something.
You love that shit.
Absolutely did, bro.
Nigga called that one of the movies.
I still haven't. I haven't left the movie theater feeling the way I felt since it happened, and I don't watch a lot of movies. I'm trying to think like what I haven't watched in the theater. I'm pretty sure I watched most of the movies I think will be on that same caliber since it came out. because I love that feeling. I've been riding the high of that film since it came out. Like and I ain't
It's the
even watched it
visuals.
again.
It's the visuals that got you.
I like the
It
story
what's the
too.
storyline? You said what?
I like the story. I like the story, bro.
The visuals. I ain't gonna lie to you. The visuals. I'm putting the visuals at 5 out of 5. It looks beautiful.
I really like Jordan Peele. I really do. I like the story to know. I think it's the best one he came out with. That's really how I feel, bro.
Yeah, that's a
The bro,
It's not better than Get Out.
no, nowhere close to Get Out. Not even
I
close to
understand.
us.
I
Not even
can
close to
Us
understand
us.
that.
was I didn't
I
like.
can understand that.
I slick like Note better than Us, but like,
Yo,
Bro.
hell nah.
but
It is
Like that
mixed.
feeling,
It says mixed reviews on
like that feeling you just said, like when you left the theater and watching Nope. Like when I watched Get Out, like we watched Get Out in the movie theater with niggas. I watched Get Out on the rave at the rave.
exactly.
yeah.
I watched it 4 times in theater.
That feeling,
4 times.
especially that being around people, like that's a movie you have to watch around people, especially the first time. Like, that's definitely a movie, like you say, watch that 4 times. It's definitely a movie keep watching over and over and over again and still have that feeling, even though you know what's happening. But the first time and the effects of it, not even the visual effects, the audio effects. That movie had a lot of audio effects in that shit, which we all
Mm-hmm.
music heads, so we fucking love our audio. So Nope had the visuals, but it had it in its name. It's a Nope. That movie's like, it's not. I don't think it's not gonna hold because it's still like Get Out, Us. You still had even to this day, niggas still questioning a lot of shit that happened in those movies. The movie Nope, niggas is questioning what the fuck is the movie about.
Bro,
Like,
that's the
The
extraterrestrial.
alien.
well, yeah, we know that shit though, but why? What is it? We don't know what
It's
it is.
it's an animal.
It has animalistic characteristics, just like
It's an
humans have
animal.
animalistic characteristics.
It's
Why are we animals? I mean,
basically
I guess
an
we are
alien.
animals.
It's basically like what an actual alien will be like if they came here. We think it's gonna be just like a small creature, but it's probably gonna be some shit
Right.
like that.
It looked like a big ass whale that could fly with no eyes. Did it have eyes? Not necessarily. And the main thing about the movie was him not looking at it because he never looked at the horses or whatever.
Yeah, he didn't look at it. I
I,
think
I
he didn't look at the
thoroughly
horse
fuck
at the
with it.
eyes because yeah,
It fell
Kiki
flat on
Palmer.
something within the storyline, but I mean, I
I
understand.
forget what were people mad about. I forget what people were mad about.
where the fuck the monkey come
The
from?
mama, the mama.
What
Wasn't it the
mama?
mom? They never talked about their mother. Their
Not really.
dad. I think a lot of people was upset about. They wanted to know something about their mother. I remember
I
that
wouldn't know.
being
The
the
monkey
monkey.
was
The
probably the biggest
monkey
thing they was gonna
was
have a question about.
the monkey. The monkey just it did a lot of things. One, Jordan Peele, he always do some crazy shit in the movies. So that was some crazy shit, right? The monkey, uh, it was important for that character, the Asian's character, who was fucking with the alien. Remember the character that was fucking with the alien and making it a show or whatever, and he ended up getting ate by it. He wouldn't have that confidence of doing that without the monkey. The monkey killed everybody, and he was underneath the desk or whatever, and the monkey just looked at him.
Yeah, man. Film is important. Like I feel like it's hand in hand with music because like I remember movies that I watched from a kid just from off of the scene or just like how the visuals make me feel like I don't know, like The Mask is a movie like we watched as a kid, like something about the visuals, like you can't forget about this shit, like once you watch it. So visuals are super important. Like that's probably my favorite part. Huh? You're on mute.
I said for sure in so many different ways. The visuals being important. But what I appreciate about movies and we were just talking about like watching Snowfall over time, watching Game of Thrones over time, and going on a journey because they take their time with releases and it's episodic. You know, a movie could be 3 hours and that's long, but when you got a TV show that's an hour long and it's 10 episodes, that's 10 hours of content that you watch over time. And even the actor gets older in the face, you kind of grow with the characters. So like when a TV show ends, it feel you like you just really be emotionally pulled to the characters. And I like that. But it is a long payoff. Movies, it happens a lot quicker. And music happens like that. So like I appreciate all the art forms because of those different things. Like in order for me to make you feel a certain way, if I'm a creator and I make a TV show, in order for me to make you feel a certain way, I got to do a lot of different things. I got to do it scene by scene, episode by episode, and then big picture, season by season, and then even bigger picture over the whole, how does this start and then how does this story end?
We should do like 10-minute shorts, like
Yeah.
using YouTube, and then like that's the paywall. You know what I'm saying? The paywall is now you pay for the full 1 hour. You know what I'm saying? We give you 10, 15, not even snippets. Like you could basically do episodes, like to lead up to, you know what I'm saying? Basically the whole movie, but like that episodic 10 to 15 minutes of like whatever the stories you're trying to present. That'd be dope. But
Oh yeah.
I don't think you could just sell it without having any form of a fan base to want to go buy on the paywall though. I think that have to come. You have to give it away for free, probably the whole thing.
That would be the smart thing. I think people would still support. I think people would support, so I think it'd be important to still like offer it. You know what I mean? Damn, and we doing this shit on a podcast. I really don't want to tell nobody that we goddamn this even in my head because niggas are, you know the conversation we just had. Niggas gonna watch this and be like, yo, I'm about to write. I promise you, a nigga tweet this shit next week. I'm about to start writing movies.
A video director.
You know what I'm saying?
Storyteller. I'm gonna start writing stories.
Tori, then like over the last year, I've been talking about movies and shit, comic books and shit, storytelling. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I just put it on a back burner because it's just like, man, all the shit you need to do. You need props, you need location, you need actors, bodies, you need editing. It's a lot. Whereas music, it made me appreciate music even more. Nigga, record, mix, put it out. It's just like trying to focus on that, but it just be I know it's another art form that I am like I do feel passionate about. You know what I'm saying? Like I was talking to him. You watch Snowfall.
Who, me?
You watch Snowfall, right, Tori?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I haven't seen Snowfall yet.
And you know, I forget, he probably don't feel as strongly about it as I do. But I know you like it. I know you fucked with it, yeah.
Oh, he's strong. Oh, Snowfall, I'm a huge Snowfall fan, bro.
But that ending just hit me. I fuck with that. That's still like the best. I ain't watched too much TV shows now that I think about it this year. I definitely, even out of the movies I've watched, that's the best. That's the best. And everybody was on it's like a polarizing last episode. I feel like that's the best episode TV I've seen in a while. That final episode.
It was nicely written. I wish they could have. I think it was stretched out like maybe an hour and some change, maybe an hour 15, hour 20 minutes. It should have been at least 2 hours. If they gave me two full-length episodes, and even if they would have ended that exact same way, I feel like they could have just told me a little bit more story instead of jumping.
Yeah.
because it seemed like at first you see, I ain't trying to spoil it, but you know, you see him do something he'll never do, and then the very first part of the episode, and then the very end of the episode, he turns to something that you would never think he would ever be because he did something that you would never think he would do.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like I wish I could have expounded on that, I guess, maybe another 30, 45 more minutes, and then I would have felt, you know, completed. He talked to a nigga that like shit in an hour and a half tops. So,
yeah, I was just about to say.
Exactly. So I wish I could have stretched that shit out a little bit more longer, and I would have been more satisfied. But it was still okay. It was still all right. Look,
yeah, that scene fucked me up, bro. I watch it every other day. Not every other day, but I watch it often.
Have y'all
That
seen
Leon
Lupin?
scene. What?
Lupin the Third.
I saw it on
Lupin.
Netflix. I saw like the cover of it on Netflix. I ain't never watched the show. It's a straight show.
Yeah, y'all gotta go tap in. Clear up.
You said Blue Pond.
Lupin. Yeah. When y'all get out of here,
Yeah, I'm gonna have
just
to look it up.
give it a good 30 minutes, fall asleep. I have to watch it, but yeah, put that on. He finessed his way through a lot of shit. That's all I can say. He's a finesser. I don't know what else to tell you.
I'm gonna look at that
I'm gonna
shit.
check it out. I'm gonna check it out. Who your favorite directors, Cody?
I don't know. I'm just gonna say that's a difficult question. I mean, I could tell you my favorite movies, but I would say there's dominant directors.
You could give me your movies. My favorite directors slash
Nolan,
writers. How you could tell?
because
Or
we
you saying that's yours?
Huh?
I said you saying Christopher Nolan for you or what?
He'll be in my top list for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, you know who Christopher Nolan is, bro? Tori.
Oh yeah, I know who Christopher Nolan is.
Basically
long,
any
long
Leonardo DiCaprio movie that's came out.
any long ass movie, that nigga is the head of that
Batman.
shit.
Bro, the nigga did Dark Knight. That's all you need to know.
I know he did that shit. I think I'm not saying he's probably not a dynamic director. Nigga's too dynamic.
You gotta watch Memento.
Inception. Memento is a classic.
Inception is fire too.
I tried watching
Inception is so
I went to
fire.
sleep on that shit. Went to sleep
You
on
gotta
that
Oh
try
shit.
my
again.
God, bro. That shit's so fucking fire, fool. That shit just make you like it just make me want to create. Like he's just the way he think is just creative.
It's
Now
next level.
I haven't watched Tenet, and I heard
Interstellar
it's
too,
good.
bro.
Interstellar, one of the best movies ever, bro. Like they was talking about the movie on social media, that clip of him Matthew McConaughey watching his family grow up, like that. That movie is great. Like that movie so hard, but it's again 4 hours long. You ain't go watch it.
Nah,
That's why
fuck. I'm gonna see.
Memento, and he even got another movie called I don't know if you watch it. Nope, nigga, I ain't letting this go. With Hugh Jackman in it. But Memento is like his first movie, and it was really cheap and it's short, and it's basically about somebody. It's a movie about somebody who has memory loss, short-term memory loss. He has to write everything on. He has to write everything on a sticky note to remember everything. So he to go about his day. The movie starts with him killing somebody, and it goes backwards. You're watching why it happened, how it happened. It's like it's so creative and it's short. You'll fuck with it. Because it just start with killing, and you like why he killed this person, and then you watch him look at the sticky notes, and then it kind of like replays it or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's called The Prestige, the other movie I'm talking about.
The nigga made Damn in theatrical form.
I guess so when you think about it, yeah.
No, I'm gonna tell you a good director though, bro.
I'm
Ari
listening.
Aster.
Who's that?
He
That's a
directed Hereditary, um,
gotcha.
Midsummer, The
Midsummer's
Yo,
Witch.
you know,
banger.
Midsummer is a fantastic movie.
Midsummer's a banger.
It tell you what the
I
first
haven't
it tell you the
watched.
whole movie in the first 5 seconds of the movie.
It's
I
not
haven't
what you
watched
think
any.
either.
I haven't
See,
watched
it's
any of his
nothing like
movies.
you would think. But
I haven't watched any
but
of their
it's called a
movies.
banger. But it's weird.
A24.
Yeah,
Anything A24 drop is going to be
it's fire. Yeah,
great movie. It's going to be fire. And like I think
yeah.
he's a great director. Like Hereditary, like I think they
Yeah.
classify it as a horror, but it's very like Midsummer. I think they classify Midsummer as a horror, but it's very a psychological thriller type shit. I like
Mhm.
Yeah,
movies like that.
me
He's
too.
very one of those like he's him. I put him and Jordan Peele kind of the same category, but they're very
Yeah,
different. But he has that type of psychological shit. Like I don't know if you ever seen the movie. I don't know if he directed that or not, but I know A24 dropped that called The Menu.
For what?
You've heard the movie called The Menu?
The
The menu,
Minion,
yeah. I see that.
No, not The Minion, The Menu.
The menu,
the
yeah.
menu. Okay, no.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that movie fire as hell. So like,
Interesting.
you fuck with the movie?
It's straight. But I know what you're talking about where they go have that dinner on that island type
Yeah,
ship or
yeah.
whatever. And it's
So
like
like,
shit going on.
I like movies type of like that type of shit that'll fuck with your head.
Vivarium, you seen Vivarium?
Nah, I never heard of that.
They're basically stuck in this town and they just they can't get out. Like when they try to get out,
What's
they
it
can't
called?
get Vivarium. It's a psychological thriller. It probably came out last year. So you
Man, the
should check it out.
Man,
fucking internet
nope, better
cookies
than all
crazy
that
as
shit.
hell, bro.
Vivarium. But
Well,
yeah.
something just popped up on your phone.
I just typed in VI. That was the first thing that popped up. Never heard the
Crazy.
movie day in my fucking life, bro.
It's a banger. It's a psychological banger.
Like that's something I would do. Like if people ask me what I'd do if I was rich, that's what I would do is watch like my movie list, my TV show list. I still ain't watched Breaking Bad. It's
Oh
just
my god.
it's just not on my priority list. But if I was rich, like eventually when I get into retirement, like I know that's how I'm gonna spend the majority. I read a lot too. I do read, so I probably read a lot too. But if I was rich, like I'd read a lot of books and I'd watch like every movie. Like because it's so much shit, it's so much content. Like I haven't watched Midsummer, I haven't watched as many A24 movies. And you know what? I'm about to make it like that's my New Year's resolution. I just came up with it. I just thought about it. That's what I got to watch more. I got to watch more movies. And I'm a movie buff, but I need to be like I need to be deep in the rabbit hole. The way I am in sports and music, that's how I want to be in movies. Specifically, I fuck with TV, but I'll probably get into it. But I'm gonna go through A24 and I'm gonna try to watch a movie a week. I think that's a weird goal, but I just know how my creative mind is. Like the movies really, really, even since I was a kid, like movies they just even more than music. What it just depends truly. If something's good, like a sport game, a good movie, a good song kind of affects me the same type of way. So I wanna watch some great movies next year. I'm gonna put that on my goals list.
Yeah.
Damn, already, bro. Niggas already, the 49ers already in my comments. Niggas love to wait till the goddamn game over to talk crazy.
How's the ass whooping over?
It definitely was.
Hey, bro, the content, they love the content, man. They either love the content or they hate the content because they
They
love
hate
it.
it
They
so
love
much
to.
that they got it. That's the part. Like the hate make you so it still make you engage that shit because you hate.
Even
You
if you
know.
hate it, they love it.
That's why
Yeah,
I'm really upset because I wanted to talk so much shit about them because they was in my shit when I said the Jaguars was gonna win. Nigga ain't never been in a goddamn, never even seen an NFL game before in your life, nigga. Shut the fuck up.
That
Hey,
was
go ahead,
My
bro.
bad.
that's crazy how we said the same exact time, and it was a 5 minute gap, and we both saw it at the same time. You go,
Now
bro.
go
I
ahead,
don't
bro.
know. I forgot at this point.
I was just gonna ask, like, what's some like, have you heard anything like any good music like recently, like good albums, like recently dropped albums?
Recently dropped, or just albums that I've rediscovered and listened to now? Because this
Oh
whole
yeah, yeah,
project,
yeah. Give me that.
What you saying? My bad, I had to
project said,
respond to
like,
that comment.
for me, it's ATL is like, that's like, I'm going back to that project and I love it.
What you said, the best what?
A good project that you re-listen, like you revisited, and like you really fuck with it now.
You said AT Aliens.
You gotta listen to
Yeah,
it, bro.
I like, I
That's a
fuck
great
with it.
project.
I really fuck with that. Is what song, what album is Aquemini on?
Aquemini.
Yeah,
That's the album?
yeah.
I love that song. Um, see, I was just talking about movies, and like there was a point in time I did that with music. It was just like a year where I'm just about to go crazy through albums. I'm trying to think like
A good
an
question would
album
be,
that
which album would make the best movie? That would be a
Ooh,
good question.
good
question.
kid,
Good Kid, Mad City.
Good kid, good
good
kid.
kid.
That was a layup.
Yeah.
Even without good kid, um,
Have you heard "Because the Internet" by Childish Gambino?
Yeah, I listened to it maybe a couple times when it came out.
That's a good
I
He's
one.
would
he's
say
he's dope.
anything like Logic concept albums, bro. Like keep it a
Yeah,
buck.
he do be thinking about movies.
Concept albums. Like I
He
would
be
say, bro, he would
he be
come on,
he be
right?
thinking about movies, yeah. There was one of his albums, I forget what it's called, but it's basically in the future and they in a spaceship traveling somewhere or some shit. And they like, what you listening to? Oh, this nigga named Logic, he was from 2015, da 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 da. I'm listening to one of his best albums or some shit. And that was the goddamn. And that's when like Kendrick had everybody shit. I was trying to come out with one, a concept album back then. Cause it played with that film junkie in my head. You know what I mean? So Big Sean came out with concept albums after Kendrick did. J. Cole kinda he ain't really do it, one of those skits, but he kinda
I
like
think I
brought a
think KOS
story
is like
to
a concept album. I'm a KOD.
say what?
KOD like a good
KOD?
concept album.
Yeah, yeah. It's he does it in a right way. Big Sean and Logic, even Tory Lanez had one. That first album, I don't even know if I could find it on Apple Music. The one where Say It is on there. He kind of tried. It was so many skits too.
Does J.
Everybody
Cole
was
have a
skitting
classic
the fuck
album?
everything out. What?
Does J. Cole have a classic album?
Horse Hills Drive.
Yeah, well, what else would it be? I would say he'll have a lot of classic albums, but that's probably the easiest one out of all of them.
You said what?
Commercially,
That
in
that classic is
2014,
so
Forest Hill.
Classic. It's
yo
so
it,
weird. I know.
yo it's so yo it really is, bro. Because it's do we talk about movies like that? We do, but not necessarily.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I
just
think
good
so, bro.
movie. You know.
Like we you like being a good movie is good enough. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? We do talk about movies being classics though, but like it's not a big conversation. Music is that the album's a classic. Lauryn Hill, that shit's a classic. A good classic, it's a classic, and it's just like, what do classic even mean? You know what I mean? It's
It
fun. It's
doesn't
fun.
have any meaning.
I'm just thinking about it. Really don't. And really, who cares? The album's good,
If
but does
which
he have a
albums do
classic?
you think are
Like what?
great
Like I
albums
never
that you
even thought. You already know what I'm gonna say.
Man,
Don't say. Are you gonna say Born Sinner?
Nah,
No. You talking
Friday
about
Night
Cole?
Lights.
Just Cole?
Yeah,
Y'all was talking
Friday
about
Night
Cole.
Lights.
I was gonna bring up Kanye shit.
Oh,
But yeah,
that
I do
classic
fuck
album.
I fuck with
Jesus
us.
would be a good
Yeah.
movie. You know what I'm
Jesus
saying?
will be Twisted Fantasy.
Twisted Fantasy obviously was a movie.
Um
College Dropout. You know what I'm saying?
I would say
Late
College Dropout
registration,
being nice.
graduation, whatever.
I'm trying to think about recent shit. Nobody recently like really blew me away with an album that made me think movies. Really trying to create that shit, to be honest. But
You heard of James Blake at all?
the name sounds familiar. Never listened to him though.
It's like experimental, like soul,
Okay.
R&B.
James Blake. Do I know a song? Is there a song? I'm thinking about somebody.
I mean, I would just
I
listen.
don't think it's him though.
I would listen to um, the project called Overgrown. Just, I mean, I don't know if there's any standout tracks and nothing. It's like if you're in a music, I guess if you're in a production and just like basically like a story being told, I think that's a good project. To
What's
listen
in the
to.
project again?
It's experimental, so it's like I mean I don't know if y'all like it or like, but it's just something to digest. I think it's a good story, but it's not so
Yeah.
simple to understand. But
Like
yeah,
I like what the scribes sent it experimental.
like it's hard to explain. That's a good question. Um,
Shit different. You
the
trying something.
production is different than usual. It's it's just like random vocals.
What type of vibe? What type of vibe is it? You said random vocals.
It's I would say even like it's like R&B, but it can be like folk. It can be EDM even at the same time. Like it could be R&B, all these different genres in one. So for me to just tell you it's one of them would be like I'd say experimental because now I got to say 10 other things um, to mean that.
So is it like Gorillas? You know what Gorillas is?
Yeah,
Hmm.
some of the production could possibly sound like that, but he's singing over it.
Gotcha.
And he's like pitching his voice up and down and shit. Like, and
So it's very sounds like the
it's abstract.
production of it
If
sounds
that
very
it's abstract. It's not like the best listening music, but like if that's the taste level or just like what you want to listen to, I think it's cool. But it's definitely something new. You probably won't hear anything like it, but it's really just up to taste. It's just something random that was on my mind. But try it out.
I'm
I'm gonna
listening
look
to a
into
lot
it.
of music. I be listening to like a lot of different music, bro. Like it's good to expand your palette on different shit.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I cannot come up with no beats, bro, because I'm trying to like do something different. But like,
Don't.
what do you
It's
mean?
what you got to do to get out of that. Just make something. Like just make something. Don't even you judging it. Don't judge nothing. You got to create, judge after, change it after. It's like cooking. When you cook, you don't look at the egg before you crack it and say, no, I don't like that. And I don't like that one either. And I don't like that one either. You crack the egg, you put it on the stove, and if it burns, you say, okay, it's burnt. Let me throw it away and try again. So don't create without not create. When you start thinking about create something different, but create something in order for something to be different, you got to create something. So it's like create a drum pattern and then ask yourself, is this different? If it's no, then well, what would I have to change to it to make it different?
For
Instead of
me to
saying,
break out of doing that, I have to make a formulaic beat And that's
Mm-hmm.
gets me every time. Cause like I don't want to make a formula beat. Like I can make 10 formula beats right now, but like that doesn't seem interesting of time to be
If
used.
if you make a
So
formulaic beat, can you change it? Can you like take something away from it, add something to it, stutter it a little bit, offset it a little bit afterwards, change the instruments, change the key? Because that's all experimenting is. It's just you know, taking what something is and just looking at it from an opposite angle, altering it, add it, or you could look at experimental as adding something. You might not be creating something, you might be adding two different elements together that aren't necessarily ever put together.
Like mixing different samples. Like you can have 5 different samples in one song if you know how to put
Yeah.
them, how to lay them out and make them in sync to have the same idea. Like even that, like that's what
Well,
the drums is becoming like, and that's really the issue. Is like the drums are becoming that sample that I'm trying to add into it rather than it just being a drum. Like, but like
gotcha.
this is just poor. It's just creative problems. Like you can do what you want to do.
Creativity is real. Like I love creativity. So like so that experimental album you was talking about, could you recreate it?
Yes and no. I can recreate it in the sense that I can sit there and physically recreate it just because from listening to it back to back. But like it's more so just like a feeling. It seems more sporadic um than like I don't know. Once you make this, you just understand like the formula that is being used to make a beat. Like how many different samples is going in and out, how many different sounds and shit. Like I don't know.
yeah.
But, but
Yeah,
you made beats
I
before.
wish I understood what I have, but I wish I was on it like y'all so I could really communicate
Oh,
how I
I'm making them, but I just haven't ran into anything that I absolutely love. That's like, oh yeah, I gotta save
got
this
you.
right now. I'm making them and saving them, going to the next one, and all that. But yeah,
Send them to me. But yeah, like I'm big on creativity, so like I really like interested in like how people think about creating stuff. Like you really the best way to do it is showing up truly. Sometimes songs just be writing themselves. You know what I mean? But in order for that to happen, I gotta show up. Like I have to. And a lot of times, you know, I might write something I don't care for. A lot of times I'll write something, I don't like it. Listen to it, love it. A lot of times I'll write something, love it while I was writing it. Come back to it, nah, it's not that good. A lot of times I'll write something and while I'm writing it, I know you get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So like showing up is so important.
I gotta give
So
you we gotta give you that soundtrack to get you in your mind, to get your ideas pumping.
yeah,
Or do you
yeah.
write and then find beats to go on what you wrote, or do you write with the beat?
It, all the feeling come from the beat. And I'll have a feeling. So like last week, we had that conversation and then that song came about, right? I had a feeling going into it, right? And like I was telling y'all before, I think I told both of y'all when I listen to beats. Like I'll spend right now I'm in a place where I'm listening to beats and I'm saving them for later. Right? I want to write today, but when I go in my beat like catalog, it's running dry. Not necessarily, but I haven't done this in a while. I haven't sat down and the reason why I was able to write like this and record like this was because the feeling was here and I knew when I went to my phone in that BeatStar folder, I was going to find something. I don't never want that to run dry. So it's important for me to find them. But if I got a feeling and the beat makes me it emotionally, I feel connected to the beat, it's easy. So it was seamless. I told you I was getting off the phone. I wrote, the next morning I recorded, and you got it. And then that was the first time I ever recorded like that. The video I dropped, and I've been trying to figure out how I want to do visual content at the mic. And that just like, again, showing up created that. If I didn't record, I wouldn't have done it. Me doing a podcast visually, I just already been putting the camera and hitting record. So I just did that. I was like, I wasn't thinking about anything but just shooting. So I just recorded, and that was the take that you heard, was a take that you hear on a song nobody else got. But yeah, I'm always writing to the beat. Like I could write words, and I probably write better. A lot of times I'll listen to the beat, find the tempo, hit pause, and I could get my thoughts out without hearing the beat, and then I'll hit play. There's so many ways I write, but a lot of times without the beat, but after I find it, I could write to the beat without listening to it. But sometimes I'll write at the mic too, and speak into the mic and hear it on the beat. But it's never been a time, not ever have I ever written a song and then I said, let me find a beat to the song. Never have I. That don't even sound interesting to me.
You be posting your lyrics under the YouTube videos to the beats.
No, never done that. No, never have I done that.
People
No.
be doing that, right?
Yeah. I be seeing niggas do that shit, and I be like, it's so different. It's cool to do that. The sound, yeah. Fuck all that. The hearing is so important, right? Like sound texture is so important. So like, niggas be posting they whole verses, and it read good, I guess. But it's just like, you know what I mean? Like it's a poem, but it's like, what do a nigga do? Like that shit always was funny, bro, to me. Cause it's a beat, and then you in the comments, and what am I hitting play to the beat and then reading your shit? Like I got the like it. That's so weird to me.
I mean, I was on YouTube the other day, and I was like, it was like a little post on there asking like, what's the most important thing in rap? You had like three choices. It was like flow, lyrics, or what was the other choice?
Delivery or something.
I think that kind of came with flow. It was like flow, lyrics, and like storytelling. No, yes, it was bars, flow, or storytelling.
What you pick?
What's the most important of those
Niggas
three?
cannot be saying shit. I think flow is the most important. Niggas cannot be saying shit. But if I'm counting delivery as part of flow. So niggas cannot be saying shit. We got that flow delivery with that shit. It's gonna be hard.
Flow is the, you usually can tell off rip as a rapper who writes. It's almost like I don't know how to describe it as far as film goes, but like when you it's the language of rap and poetry. Like when you sit, like I done been a rapper amongst poets, and everybody wrote a poem about something, and then you hear a poet motherfucking flow the way they flow, and then you hear a rapper flow, you just look weird as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like the way people write poems, they don't rhyme every time. Their lines they're not as rigid. There's not as much structure, but there is. Like poetry is, their flow is different, and you got to have that in order to sound like a poem. And it's the same thing with rap. A lot of people, like, they just can't flow. They can't pick up on the rhythm, and that's like the first thing somebody will notice about you when you rap. And if you don't got the flow, everything else don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got the flow, automatically motherfuckers will be like, oh, he could rap. I don't know what he said yet, but it just it's the beat is probably the most important thing. The flow in the flow, like you said, whenever I hear somebody who rap, that's what sticks out to me the first time I hear him. I'm like, okay, he sound like he know what he doing. You know what I mean? What you think, Cody?
I would say flow too. I mean, when it comes down to even just like on a human level, like that's the thing that's going to connect you to an individual. It's like the rhythm of the song, and so we consider flow too. But like, I think that's the most important. But I think what separates, like, maybe even flow is that separating factor too. But I think it's the lyrics too. Bars, man.
For sure. That's like the next step because it's like flow.
In R&B,
Flow
are
is
we
like
judging people's bars? But think about that. Are we judging people's bars in R&B? Like their
It
right.
depends
bars.
on you can't judge a certain rappers their bars compared to another rapper's bars.
You can't, but you can't, but you do put different rappers in a different category depending on who they is. Like 50 Cent
Right.
50 Cent and Kendrick Lamar can both flow. Now you might say Kendrick might be better at it because he might flow more
Who makes better
in
songs?
in
50 Cent
different
or
ways.
Kendrick?
Right. 50 Cent.
Yeah.
But it's so hard because Kendrick does different shit.
50 Cent makes better songs. And I'm a huge Kendrick fan. Like 50 Cent got better songs for the universe. Like if humans,
I
this
go
all
ahead,
the
go ahead.
shit we got, they gonna play some 50 Cent songs, bro.
I can see that. I can see that. Like that nigga's probably easily got the greatest title songs of all time. Just made 8 songs. So I would say that
It's your
nigga got
birthday.
very marketable
Yeah.
songs.
A nigga finally made a song called It's Your Birthday. There wasn't a song
Yeah.
called It's Your Birthday before that.
I don't think it
Go
was a rap
shawty.
song like that.
It's your birthday. We gonna party like it's your like that's just flow. Dun dun like dun dun
That's definitely
dun
flow.
dun dun
That's
dun
straight flow.
dun 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 dun. Because if you don't, because like again, when you put the bars with the flow, then
That's
it
how
makes the
Tupac.
artist
That's how Tupac is
right.
talked about. You see what I'm saying?
It's all flow. It's all blast me, but never ask me to live a lie. Am I wrong?
Delivery.
Because I want to get it on till I die. Like that's all flow and energy and conviction, but it comes from the flow. And then he don't put punchlines on there, but he just put imagery and feeling on there, right? It's
Hmm.
poetry. Like he really was a poet. But that flow is how you get it, and that's how he understood that was his thing. Whereas Biggie will flow, but he'll give you some type of bars. He'll give you punchlines. Um, but the Tupac will make you feel. And he had I used to watch a lot of Tupac interviews, and he had interviews. He was like, a lot of kids they might listen to me more than they listen to other lyricists because I'll say something in a certain way, and you might not even understand what I'm saying, but the way I say it, it just sound good. And I'm not singing, but it's still melody. Flow is melody. You just
Hmm.
not singing. You know what I mean? It's
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
that
no, for sure.
go shawty. It's your birthday. We gonna party. Like it's the same thing, truly. And
It's just not complex lyrics. It's simple
right,
lyrics. But
some people can't do that.
some people can't do
There's a
simple.
lot of people that can't do that.